Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we are stepping into something really fascinating. It's this dark, almost mythic fable of the modern age. We're going to be unpacking a narrative about the architecture of stasis and the silent, everyday battle for our inner meaning. If you've ever felt like society is just gently lulling you to sleep, well, this story is going to put a name and a face to that exact feeling.
So, I want you to just pause for a second and honestly ask yourself, are you actually awake right now? Or are you just comfortable, sitting safe behind glass walls? It's a pretty provocative question, right? Because so often we end up trading the turbulent, messy reality of a deeply meaningful life for this kind of comfortable numbness. We accept these walls because they keep us safe from the elements, but they also completely isolate us from our own potential. So today, we're going to figure out exactly who built those walls and, more importantly, how to break them.
The Inquisitor's Kingdom. Okay, let's dive into this dark narrative by looking at the architect of these walls. Picture this. Sitting at a desk of cold stone is a figure known as the Pale Inquisitor. Now, he isn't some cartoon villain with a master plan to destroy the world. It's actually much worse. He is a ruthless enforcer guarding a rigid domain, essentially the manager of the modern human spirit. His goal is simple: ensure the citizens never wake up, keeping them as true orphans of meaning. And how does he do it? He doesn't use physical chains. No, he uses a cage of slogans, reducing really difficult, complex truths into these thought-terminating catchphrases. Then come the glass walls, keeping sleepers perfectly pacified. And the craziest part? The citizens actually accept it. They willingly trade their deep fulfillment for the mere illusion of safety and unqualified repose.
The disease of the last man. Let's see how this system builds, because this kind of control produces a very specific type of citizen. We're talking about a concept famously identified by the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, the tragic figure of the last man, and their defining condition, passive nihilism. It's basically the act of trading your high ambition and deep meaning for comfort, security, and shallow happiness. When you think about it, that definition almost has a flat, lulling tone to it, doesn't it? The citizens in this kingdom haven't been conquered by force at all. Instead, they've been quietly hollowed out by their own desire for an easy life. They just want to consume, stay safe, and be comfortable. Gods of the state. But who's the Inquisitor actually working for? Let's pull back the curtain.
Now here is where we reveal the hidden architecture of this whole operation. The Pale Inquisitor isn't acting alone. He's actually a high priest serving a much larger, darker power. Listen to this absolute game changer of a quote from Carl Jung's psychological analysis of Nietzsche's Zarathustra. The ancient war god holds the sacrificial knife. What the source material unveils here is a massive narrative twist. When our personal divine beings, the old religions and spiritual foundations, when they die out, that innate human need for devotion doesn't just evaporate. It has to go somewhere. So the modern state steps in as this monstrous, secular new religion. The ancient war god is still very much there. He's just hiding behind the pretense of modern bureaucratic institutions. And this brings us to what is arguably the most chilling part of the Inquisitor's job, his cosmic ledger. He literally keeps a daily tally of losses, measuring exactly how much humanity the population has surrendered to the state machine. The hypocrisy here is just staggering. He mocks the citizens for having no gods, while secretly funneling their remaining human devotion right into the hollow, secular worship of the state institutions he manages.
Rise of the Last Thinker.
But listen, the narrative doesn't end in that dark place, because every oppressive system eventually spawns its own counterforce. Enter the heroic figure destined to shatter the Inquisitor's control, the Last Thinker. Think of this as the ultimate theatrical contrast of our story. On one side, you have the last man, passive, hollow, completely asleep behind those glass walls. On the other side, the Last Thinker, rebellious, awakened. Instead of hiding behind empty slogans, the thinker confronts the unknown directly. They are the hero who fights the dragon of their own inner chaos, absolutely refusing to surrender their humanity to that cosmic ledger.
The Temple of Struggle.
So how does the Last Thinker actually manage to do this? How do they survive this constant psychological warfare? Well, the answer lies in building what the source calls the Temple of Struggle. It's essentially a 3-step roadmap for waking up. Step 1, refusing the old beacon. The thinker realizes you can't just revive dead institutional religions. You have to move forward. Step 2,
fighting the internal dragon. They turn inward and face their own personal chaos directly. And step 3, building the temple. By applying the logic of the crucible to their own mind, they forge meaning strictly out of personal struggle. And it's this hard-won internal certainty that makes them entirely immune to the Inquisitor.
And here is the absolute best part. What happens when a last thinker walks among the sleepers? They produce what's known as the terrifying itch. The thinker naturally radiates a personal light, a deep, undeniable authenticity. And when the sleepers see this light, it triggers something profound deep inside them. It reminds them of what they've lost. This personal light is highly contagious, and it poses an existential threat to the Inquisitor because it threatens to turn his cold, structured kingdom into a beautiful ruin where humanity can finally breathe again.
Which brings us right back to you. We started this explainer by asking if you were awake. Well, now you have to make a choice. Are you doing the hard work? Are you radiating personal light? Or are you letting yourself become just another tally on the Inquisitor's cosmic ledger? Look, the glass walls are comfortable, no doubt about it, but the temple of struggle is where true meaning actually lives. The choice is yours. Thanks for hanging out with us for this explainer, and I really hope this leaves you with something profound to think about today.